Hi, good evening. Welcome to Teacher Mary channel, Kopi with Mary today. We are very blessed to have Justine Yao to be with us today. So we will wait for 3 to 5 minutes. So please like and share, and we will see you in 3 to 5 minutes time. So we will see you shortly. I will put some music. So you just tune in, just listen to the music. We'll try to play from my laptop. So we'll see how's the music like. Good evening. Now we are live. So welcome to Teacher Mary channel. So how are you all today? Hope that you all are fine. Today we are very blessed to actually have Justin Yao. He's actually previously an engineer turned successful entrepreneur running two multi successful businesses till date. Our guest, Mr. Yao, will share the experiences, strategy, and tips he used in his own setup that you can implement in your own business nature. We are talking smart, proven, no fluff advice that actually works. And if you are thinking on how to transit over the fear. So look no further. And now you can actually listen to Justin, Mr. Yao, my friend, who now runs a successful academic learning center and also his web design company. So together, we will unlock the doors to your dream. You too can transition from an employee to an entrepreneur. So from an employee to an entrepreneur. So we will listen to him and we will let him to share his experience. Welcome, Justin.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. So today is your first live, is it?
Yes, my first live. I'm a bit nervous actually.
Just calm down.
First
Just
live, first
breathe.
live. Yeah.
My first live also the same thing, but my first live was in Australia actually, just showing
Okay.
around and so on. So it's not an interview. So for
All
your
right.
side, okay, let's start
Hmm.
your life journey because it's like from a background of
Yeah.
engineer
Yes.
and we will talk step by step and so on. We will be drinking coffee, but for me it will be green tea today because
Oh, I didn't worry. I have coffee over here. Coffee bean, coffee
coffee.
bean.
Yeah. So you drink coffee, you can actually sleep. Okay. Okay. So for you, actually, after
Yeah.
graduate, because based what I know, okay, that
Yep.
before you graduate 2 years, you already started your business.
Yeah. Basically, it's kind of like a passion to to start my own business from young. Okay. So I saw the opportunity that time when I was like 2 years before I graduated from my university. So during those time, because during those time, right, I took a lot of subjects because I wanted to finish my engineering course. Then for the last two trimesters, for the last 2 years, basically the final 2 years, I have less things to take. So I took the opportunity to start my own business. Then from there, it actually grow. Like it started from a very simple business because during that time, the internet, what they call is the internet race is, race of internet race just started. So I was pretty blessed, to really hop on and to learn some of the tricks from my other friends. You see, then I venture inside, and yeah, it was not bad actually. Yeah, the experience was not bad.
But
Okay.
you are saying that that moment, how old are you? 2006, 2007.
That
And
was around 22 years old, I would say.
but why from young? Why from young you actually started to think to run a business?
Um, because I always believe that if you have the skill set, then if you would venture out, then you will explore more things, right? Then your opportunities are limitless. You see, so going to university is basically I would say that it's not really part of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be something else, but it's actually my parents lah, right? Okay, my parents wanted to be an engineer, so I just fulfill their promises actually. To say that,
Yeah, this
fulfill
is
their
the
promises.
challenge. This is the challenge with parents. Like example, last time,
Yeah.
okay, I cannot become a lawyer. I wanted to become a lawyer. So eventually I can't. Okay, please. Most of the children will be the sacrificing uh
Yeah.
humans that we say, okay, you need to do I cannot do this, then you need to do this. I want to do ballet, but please kindly go and learn ballet. So I think this is very true that the different generation and parents tends to pass whatever they can't achieve to the children. Okay.
Yeah, so they wanted me, yeah, true.
Yeah, but did
So,
you talk to your parents and so on? Say
oh,
that okay,
definitely, definitely. I talked to them, the day when I finished my SPM, all right, I told them that I wanted to be a teacher actually. All right. I wanted to be a teacher because sooner or later I wanted to open my own tuition center. All right. So pretty much like I believe that that is a trend lah. Okay. But then my parents are not very supportive that time. So they always believe that as once you graduate, like, they want you to be an engineer, they want you to be a doctor, they want you to be a lawyer. So among all the profession that they choose for me, I finally I say okay lah, I just be engineer like it's okay lah, no problem lah. I just go for engineering field. So yeah, basically I went through the university life. I graduated. Then from there lah, basically it starts everything lah. Basically, actually not really from that. 2 years before I graduated, I already started a small business in my university already. So it pretty much give me some foundation here and there.
Yeah, but it's not everybody have that type of mindset. Okay, during university time and so on, that want to start a business. And actually, Stephen Lim is asking, John Lim is actually saying, hey, Justine. Stephen Lim actually asking, may I know how old is Justine now? Now,
Oh,
so
pretty old.
so, Stephen, you can actually calculate 2006 before 22 years old. So until now,
Yeah.
how old is he? So I think, but the main thing is that you actually study engineering and you actually
Yeah.
do data analyzing,
Yeah.
analyzing.
Yeah.
And
So
how do you get the clients? Because you are
okay.
studying, and how can people trust you?
Okay, yeah. Uh, One of the basic concept is when I enter university, I mean when I basically on the last 2 years before my graduation, lah, right? Okay, so I was studying in MMU, okay, and multimedia university, and I was fortunate. Basically, MMU was kind of like they have a lot of potential. They have very good students there, and they started a lot of things over there. Like they learn about server management. They learn a lot of things actually. So I gained some knowledge from them and so on. And at the same time, the courses that I pick, engineering courses also, there are certain subjects that are related to data analysis, right? So once I learned that subject and so on, then I participated in certain forum. It was pretty, that time forum was really famous. They don't have Facebook that time. They only have Friendster, and they have their other forums also lah, like Laoyat forums. There's quite a number of forums. So I joined the forums, and we discussed a lot of things. There's a lot of things, a lot of people are there, right? So I saw this as an opportunity that people are looking for data analysis, all right? And to do it is not hard, but it is tedious. It's just tedious. So I found that a lot of people are asking the same question. So I was thinking that if everyone is asking the same question, so I start to to provide to them like free services lah. So I just realized that if I provide to one person's free services, the rest will just benefit because it just take from me, right? And even though it's tedious, it builds my rapport that time. You see, it builds my rapport, and people start to recognize, oh, you are the one who is doing it. So after doing it for almost 2 months and 3 months, I realized that why don't I take the opportunity to to sell my service to them because they have seen my work. All right, they've seen my work. So yeah, true, it's tedious, but I do it once, but I can sell it. I can use it for everyone. So yeah, that's basically how it started lah. I don't have a website that time. There's no website. The Gmail just started, but before that was Walla. Walla is another one that provides 1 gig of emails. Walla.com. So then I use Gmail and Walla that time to actually promote it to my clients as well. Then yeah, I got a constant income from it. I think I told you guys before, like around 2005 per month.
Fine.
Yeah. Then my father
Yeah.
found out. My father found out, and he was a bit disappointed lah, because like he said that you're supposed to study, and but then you're earning money. So it's kind of like he wanted me to really focus.
Before
His con
graduate.
Yeah, his concern is what if the data that you provide, right, it violates certain legal things that you're not aware of, and you will get into a lot of problems, and you are on PTPTN loan that time. So my father was not very happy. So because of that, I have to stop lah. That's the reason why basically there are certain things that I do that probably my parents don't like it. But then it was an experience lah that time.
So So you all, Justin is not very young, but he look very young, like a graduate. His looks. So he's not very young.
Not
But
very young.
he's young, but not very young. Not like 20 years old or 25 or 28. No. So
Yeah.
okay. So for your side, what I know, when I know you that time, I think, not mistaken, I cannot
4 years,
remember. I think
3 years,
six,
or
seven years ago.
I can't remember lah.
Yeah,
It was
because what
around that.
happened is that I saw one of the website, and I
Ah, yeah,
saw
yeah,
the rating is actually very high. So the rating is
yeah.
at very high in actually first page. That's why actually I contacted you. And
Yep.
honestly, when I contacted you, and I know that you are in education and so on. So and the main thing that really bring the relationship, friendship closer, is because you are so willing to share. You are so willing to teach. And honestly, it's like, okay, you are educator, will you be finding information from me? Will you know too much of information? When the first time when I spoke to you, I think the first time I spoke to you is like maybe
Yeah,
one
yeah,
hour plus, one the first time, and you are
yeah,
sharing every single thing, okay, this one and so on. And 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 I think because of your sincerity, I think it's around 6 7 years ago, the sincerity that you really share out, and you are willing to teach. You are
yep.
very willing to teach, how is it like, how it works, and so on. And honestly, even though now currently, the rating of the SEO and so on is still the first page for our company. So on, Justin is actually, he is actually the younger generation. I'm not saying that most of you all younger generation, that like the day I saw on the Facebook of Justin, Facebook stated that many of the people just use plugins, but they do
Yep.
not know how to go in depth. They do not know
Yeah.
how to go in depth and so on. And just imagine, for so long, I do not need to buy ads. I do not need to buy ads, but my rating is actually at the first page. So maybe you can actually ask Justin later on. If any question, you can actually ask later. Then Justin will answer you. Anything about SEO, or website, how is it like, and so on. Please ask as many questions as possible, because we are very blessed to have here. He is here in Copy with Mary, Teacher Mary channel. So, okay, Justin, let's come back to your life. So during the final year, right? You actually started your company, a
Yeah.
website company, right? How did you started?
Okay. During my final year, right, basically I started a company that I have a website, but it is focused on education, focused on my dreams. I told you before that I wanted to be a teacher at the time. So it was not a website thing lah. But along the way, as my experience grows, right, basically I was fully into the internet stuff. As you know, right, most of my clients, I would say today, honestly, I'm not lying. Most of my clients today that I get it are definitely from internet or words of mouth. These are the two things. I would say I really rarely use a lot of use flyers. Okay, very rarely, unless there's certain cases only I use. All right. So I think that would be like my advantage lah. But the day when I left my university, okay, means I started my first what they call this edinovis.com. That was actually a tutorial services, all right. And I think during that time, there's only three major companies that do provide this kind of services. I cannot remember their names. Some of them are there, some of them no longer there anymore. So yeah, it started from education lah, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for your side, right? You actually use a portion of the loan, your study loan, to
Yeah.
invest in a website.
Yep.
So as a just graduate, just imagine a just graduate, and you dare to take your study loan to actually invest in a business. So because most of the people who actually just graduate, they will just, okay, I go out and work first for a few years, then only I will come back to do business. But for you, it's actually directly from graduate, after getting your degree, and you actually went in directly to business. Because honestly, what I know, we talk to graduates and so on,
Hmm.
and the first thing is that in their mind, I want to get a job. I want to get a job
Yeah.
first. Even though I spoke to Andrew, he actually incubate more than 5,000 graduates, no, entrepreneur with many graduates. But even though he actually tell me that most of them, the mindset is to directly go and work first. So why do you have this mindset that you want directly come out? I want to do business, and I want to go to my pathway, education.
Okay. You see, what I did during my time, 2 years before I graduated, right? So I already starting to calculate it. But you must understand my situation is a bit different because during my time, right, PTPTN was very early introduced, and the amount of loan that they gave to us was pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, was comes to around like 72,000. I can't remember like the total amount. It was around 70 over thousand uh, at that
Wow.
moment at that time. So it was quite a big sum of money, right? So I kind of like that time the government was pretty good. So it not just cover my loan, but it also cover my accommodation. Okay, except for the food lah. Okay, yeah. So I already calculated if I would shorten the number of years that if I take more subjects and I would shorten the number of time, right? The cost that I'm taking is still the same price, but only thing that I can save is on the lodging side, which is the accommodation part, right? So by saving on the accommodation part, right? So basically, I will save part of my loan and I will use it to invest on the website. Okay, so that is actually my strategy. Okay, and as I said before, like my passion is to start my own business, right? Then yeah, then I think using PTPTN money, which is basically a loan money, I think I'm pretty comfortable lah because it's not too expensive to invest on the website. It costs around like I think 8,000 like that. But I
Wow.
mean 8,000 is a lot, but you must understand those time, right? Websites are not like WordPress, you have plugins and so on. It's pretty cheap right
Yeah.
now. But during that time, the websites they built the website from scratch. So it's
Yeah.
very expensive to produce any kind of website, as you know. uh, Pretty much I would say WordPress does not really exist as not versatile like today. So websites are pretty
Mm.
expensive also. So I took the challenge. I went inside. Then I started from there lah. Basically, I started from there. Partly
Mm.
also because of passion lah.
Yeah.
But now
So
I'm not sure how much the loan lah they're getting to. I mean, if you want to do something at the early age, right, you can still do it. You have to find ways, lor, I would say.
I think age is really not an issue because I
Yeah.
see many entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, 18, 19, they already started to come out and so on. The challenge is they can actually make a lot of money, but when the money come to them easily, then it will be the opposite of it, overspend and so on. So some of them will be gambling and they do not know how to use this income to generate more or to grow and so on because they are in luxury. Everything is like one shirt, it will be few hundred to few thousand ringgit. So I think
Yep.
this is one of the thing. So for your side, for your you, after using, then you created a website. So after
Yeah.
creating a website, what's the response?
When I first started with the website, it was pretty slow because I don't have much knowledge about it. Okay, but then eventually, as I told you, I invested around like 8,000. Right, then I started to promote like usual, like how we promote old traditional business and so on. But it doesn't really pick up that time. Okay, so until I met another friend, not really just an internet friend, then he kind of like she kind of like gave me some hints how to do it because she is like a full-time web developer. So I told her that okay lah, I will re-engage your service to improve on my website in exchange that you will teach me some of your tricks. And I guess she taught me some of the tricks. Then from there, I learned more and more how to do things that eventually gets better. I mean, sometimes business like that, like it doesn't work straight away, but you need certain cycle, to learn some tricks, and you need to learn from some sifu also, like at the same time.
But for that young age, how did you see why suddenly you have that mindset that hey, I collaborate with you, you teach me something, I teach you something. So not actually this generation definitely especially this MCO and so on is a lot of collaboration. But that generation is like 10 over years ago that you thought that actually let's collaborate, let's work together. You teach me something, I teach you something, and both side win-win situation.
Yeah.
How do you get this idea?
I guess it's like I'll say. I think to the person who is teaching me, right? She's not teaching me for free because I'm still engaging her service. I'm still paying her, right? So, I mean, maybe out of like her knowledge is probably like 100%, but then I don't think so she'll teach me 100%, but probably she taught me like 30%. So when someone teach you like 30%, right, then the balance of 70%, you have to pick it up yourself. You have to put an effort to do it, right? Because for sure, any clients who want to like, I mean, like anyone, any of your what do you call this, your vendors, or they definitely will keep some secret. That's pretty normal for any businesses. That's very normal. But it is actually up to you to really put an effort. So if you put an effort to learn extra, that will save you a lot of money actually, right? So it's also part of your effort.
I think many of them they are very interested because you got a loan and you don't have any income no that moment. You got a loan, you need to pay your 8,000, you get a loan, and you actually go and do your website, and you do not know whether is it stable or not. Can you even pay the loan or not?
Yeah.
So I think many people are very curious, especially the new entrepreneur and so on. Huh? So aren't you worried that whether you can actually afford to actually pay whatever money that you are owing?
PTPTN was kind of like the loan is not expensive. Like it's only like I would say like during that time the agreement was 3% lah, but now it drops to 1%, right? So under the the what do you call this the kind of a loan structure that I calculated, I think that time 8K I calculated out 2 more years from now I'll be graduating and PTPTN will only collect my money. They only will start to collect when I start working. So the idea of there's no risk there basically. I mean, I already calculated that out. There's no risk because when you start to work, they only start to collect the loan from you. So it's just like a free. I would say it's a free money lah. It's a free investment, free capital for you. So by the time when you start your first job, I mean start your foot on the first job, right? You're gonna get your pay, you're gonna salary, right? You can still pay it off. Anyway, anyone will have to pay also. Whether you invested the money or you don't invest the money, when you first get a job, you still have to pay the PTPT and so on. It's the same thing actually.
Yeah, that's why they some of them say that after you get the loan, especially Malaysia is already quite good. The interest is quite low,
Yeah,
and in US, in certain countries, honestly, their loan when they complete their degree or what education, right? A big, huge of junk of debts is on their shoulder. So Malaysia PTPTN loan is still okay. And our school fee is still quite reasonable if you go to universities and so on. But you can just imagine that people in US and so on is really very heavy burden, especially after they graduate now. So okay, so after I understand that when 2008 you started your business and so on in 2007 and in 2008 you actually went back to work as an engineer. Why?
yeah, exactly.
Why so sudden running a business and suddenly go and actually work for people for 4 years?
Okay, when I graduate, right, I graduated from the time was my university, like my U lah, right? So uh, I was still running that business actually. It's just that I was planning for something bigger. I need more capital, and I can't just go to the bank and get a loan. Even though I try many ways like to reduce my cost. One of it is I do not buy big cars like most of my colleagues and most of my friends who graduated. When they graduate, the first car that they bought is actually Vios, which is 70 or whatever, so 70K lah.
70 plus thousand, I think. Yeah,
70
we are.
plus with the monthly commitment of 1,000. But you must remember during that time, right, if you purchase a car at 70 plus with the yearly of the money of 1K, right, and your pay is around in Penang, the pay during that time was around 2004, but after minusing everything, probably you left out with 2K. If you minus out with 1K, you left 1K. There's nothing much you can do with 1K after minusing the PTPTN. There's nothing much you can do already. So, I worked for a few years just to get certain things like a car, a decent car, just a Proton Saga, one of the cheapest one, with the monthly commitment probably around like 400 to 500. It's not much, okay. Then I save up some of my money. right? Because I wanted to open my own tuition center. I need the capital to start, right? So that's the reason why I worked for a couple of years to do it. Yeah,
I think it's really not an easy thing. That's why from graduate then directly you actually come out to run a business full time, for 1 year plus. Then you actually went back to work because running a business. What? Okay, I want to know why do you want to run a business? Example, you can actually work for people in education line, but
yeah.
why? What make you want to run a business?
I'm a very calculative person, lah. Okay. My philosophy is this way, lah, right? It's depending on person to person, lah. Whether you're working for someone or you're running your own business, lah, right? You see, if you work for someone, right? If you work for someone, then you're gonna get a fixed salary, right? If you are hoping for like a 7% increment, then if you think that that is good enough, then by all means you continue to work, right? It's okay, like nothing wrong with working. But to me, it's like I would say that when I invest my time in certain things, right, I believe that I should get more, right? I can't demand that in an employment world. For example, let's say in the first week when I go to work, right? Probably I'm assigned like maybe this amount of job. Okay, my boss will pay me this amount. I might be happy, but after 1 year or 2 years, right, my responsibility will increase, but my salary scale doesn't really scale that as much as my what they call is my responsibility. I don't feel it's a very fair kind of things. So I've decided that that is not the style that I want to go, because to me I'm a bit calculative, like, to me, because I calculate myself not on salary but on my net worth itself. So if you want to earn more, basically you should earn more on per hour basis, right? So to do that, I feel that you should go out and start your own business, and you also can leverage on some other people's time, to earn. But in employment world, it's quite impossible to leverage on someone else, because if the boss expect you to do this, you must do this, but your salary scale will still be the same. So I just don't feel that that is the life that I want to do, lah. Right. So that's one of it, lor.
Okay, actually, we got many questions, so we need to to understand Justin pathway. Then we will actually answer all your question. And got two people is actually asking. Stephen is actually asking. Lucas is also asking, how old are you? Later on, we'll answer you. How old is he this year? This year. So okay, they are very curious. So normally, if you ask a lady, and normally they will not answer you. So Justine, I think you will answer them later. Okay,
No
so
problem.
you actually what after going in for 4 years, 4 years as an engineer,
Yep.
so
Yep. Engineer.
in 2012 you
Yep.
actually came out and do full time running a business. Why transit 4 years there and you transit out in 2012?
Okay. When I was what do you call this? I mean, like, after working for 4 years, I've acquired certain things that I want. First of all, I managed to buy a car. Okay, so I managed to settle a big payment out of it, and pretty much I would say that my last settlement will be like, because my loan for a car is only like 5 or 6 years, so pretty much it's good. I know that I'm safe there already. Okay, I don't have much commitment anymore, so that's the first. The second thing is when I was working, I was doing what do you call these part-time things as well, right? Because I was still running the website, and the website is advertising for jobs for other teachers and so on. So there's actually a constant income from the website itself. Okay, so in 2012, right, the turning point is when I realized that the website that I purchased, or I built, basically, right, it produces a very stable income already. Not much, but it produces around, probably around, like, I was honestly tell you, around, like, that time was around 5K per month. My salary was around 3.8K. There's no reason why I should continue working, because it doesn't make sense already. And I told my dad that, I say, I know it's not gonna work, because the one that I'm doing, I'm earning more than my current job. It doesn't make sense that I keep my current job, because I mean, like there will come to a point that you need to make a transition, right? Then I've calculated even with my what do you call this? If I start a new business, the one I told my tuition center itself, I'm able to sustain myself. I don't have to worry so much about my commitment for my car and my monthly rental and my teacher's salary. I don't have to worry about that because my website itself is already generating a substantial amount of money. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. When I transition, right, I to me personally for me, when I transition from working to fully self-employed, right, my criteria is not just amount of money in your bank. Because if you transition from your job to your to your business, right, and you only rely on your bank saving, eventually if your business doesn't do well, eventually the bank saving will finish. To me is I will look at cash flow. The cash flow of your existing, I mean my existing business is doing well, right, and the cash flow is not bad. So I don't see there's any problem when I transition because things are running pretty smoothly. So I was pretty comfortable that I should quit my job and fully focus on education and also my website itself.
But I understand that yours one is not only website that generating income, you also have passive income.
Yeah,
So you are actually very good in developing passive income. So that's
yeah.
why if later on you can actually ask Justin, how can he actually create, not necessarily many people think that properties you will get passive income and certain things. He actually created certain things to actually get passive income every year. For me, I still paying you your passive income. So 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 maybe you can actually talk a little about your why you actually thought about getting passive income.
Okay. One good thing about passive. Okay. There's a lot of business structure that that can generate passive income, right? Okay, especially in the servicing line. Okay, so when you service someone and that guy is very happy, and he will continue to pay you money. So when we say passive income means that doesn't mean that you are not working at all. It just requires less amount of work. You just have to manage but less amount of work. So one of the best way if you guys like if anyone who want to learn about passive income, want to invest in a passive income, traditionally is you get a property, then if you structure the property nicely, then pretty much you can earn it from the cash flow, which is the rental, and also pay for appreciation. Okay, so it does work that way also. But for me, I choose a different path lah, right? Because I don't have that much capital like those people, all right? So I use internet to leverage it, and a lot of people they still don't believe that internet actually generates income. To me, is if your if your website is not generating income, definitely something wrong with you. Somewhere is wrong. It shouldn't be that way. It should generate income. Okay. Unless you're just doing for fun, for free, then it's up to you lah. Okay. Even though if you are a blogger or a YouTuber, you should be generating income. If you can't generate income, means there's something wrong somewhere. You have to go and find out what is the problem. So I'm not very good in YouTube. I'm not very good in like those Facebook. Pretty much, I'm not good. But I'm very good when it comes to, like website memberships, selling like ad space. I'm pretty good in that sense. Okay, and providing services and also maintaining certain services when people needs you. Yeah, so I'm pretty good in that actually. So I will focus on my strength lah. Right, some people are good in YouTubers on YouTube's and Instagram. Yeah, if you are good in that, that will be like part of your job lah, okay? But I'm not good in that. I'm good in more towards the website thing. So that's the reason why most of my businesses are focusing on website. Whether it's a corporate website or it's an e-commerce website, it doesn't matter. It should be generating income. So going back to the question, like uh, to me, passive income is important. You can do it with the internet. You definitely can. It's not impossible at all.
But I think for your passive income, right? The main thing is that how do you, because honestly out there they really want to develop their passive income and so on. Because whatever you are doing, you tend to expand on your part to develop passive income, your part to develop passive income. The idea, the creativity. So
Hmm.
how can, like example, maybe you can actually tell to the audience how can they actually in their job, it can be job, it can be their business and so on, how can they develop their passive income to be creative in their way?
Try not to okay when you're investing in your business, for example, all right. After you invest in, let's say, for example, a business or a website, lah, right? After a while, maybe after 1 or 2 years, you will tend to realize that basically, right, there are certain needs that there are certain opportunity even within your own business that you can actually expand. So let's say, for example, you're selling nasi lemak. For example, don't suddenly you sell nasi lemak the next day. The next business will be like probably you're telling me that you're opening a car shop. It's not related at all, right? But if you're selling a nasi lemak, for example, and you realize that maybe, oh, I some people they don't buy my nasi lemak, they want to buy my sambal only. So you expand on the sambal. So whenever you expand on your passive income, any kind of business, it should be within that industry. Don't try to do something which is totally you have not familiar with. You're gonna risk everything. Only focus in your strength. Then even you're selling nasi lemak, you will find that kind of opportunity somewhere. And for sure, either you can sell your what do you call this, your sambal or your ikan belis or whatever. It must be within that. Then from there you slowly expand within that area. Then I think that is one of my strategy lah that I'm doing.
Actually, it's safer because many of them tends to go out from
Yeah,
their comfort, and they do not know the risk, and they actually depends on partners to give information and so on, and the risk will be higher. I feel that you need to take risks, but you need to do calculated risk,
yeah.
that you need to know what is happening, that people cannot really cheat you, huh? So okay, until today actually you have involved in digital marketing. That's why sometimes I'm very curious, even though that moment I don't think I asked you this question. From an
Yeah.
engineer, but you already explained, from an engineer, that generation you learn other things also. So that's why I say like, okay, Justin is an engineer. Now is a digital marketing. He know how to do SEO, example. So it's like, wow, it's like so far, no? It's an engineer, and you know how to do, because normally will be website developer, or normally the digitalization is not an engineer. So you actually involve right now the digital marketing to promote tuition centers and education centers in your websites and so on. And of course, they actually pay you a subscribe yearly fees. So that one is your passive income. And you actually improve business view Google search. Okay, that make me save a lot of money on not paying, no need to pay, or minimize paying Google ad, or don't pay at all. And I'm in still at the first page. And that one is so important. It's really important that it really helps us to save costs, especially that we are running in education business, and so honestly competitive.
Competitive. Yeah.
So you actually now today you own two businesses, and later on Lina actually asked what's the biggest business that you actually deal with, handle with, or close deal with. Later on we'll come back to you, Lina. So and you own two businesses, tuition center, web design company, and you actually revolve the way teaching, because now you are actually doing 50% online. But I understand that before pandemic, even though MCO, you really start to transit to do online.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are different from other people. Many of them is actually because of pandemic, they actually did online. But for you, before the MCO, or before the pandemic, you really started to transit to actually do online. Why do you have that idea? How come that you can actually have
For
that
me,
idea?
it's like Mary. For me, whenever you invest in any kind of a business, lah, right? I mean, you always want to improve yourself. I mean, like you cannot always stick to the same way of doing things, right? So I always tell my clients that, I mean, like, even though you have a website, just a simple like corporate website, okay? Uh, though the corporate website that you make probably like 5 years down the road and today is totally different. One of the example, let me explain to you. A lot of people have websites for sure, but to me, if you have a website that doesn't have a CRM or doesn't have a pretty much like one of these CRM and doesn't have those social media kind of thing, right? I would just say that it's just a waste of time because things are changing too fast already, right? then for me, it's like if you're asking me lah, right? Because when I was doing my what they call this my website for my education, I do learn a lot of things about internet stuff because I'm taking courses and so on at the same time. I never stop learning until today. Honestly, I'm paying for certain courses. Even though I'm teaching, I'm still paying for certain courses to engage some of the people from India to guide me and so on. Learning is it's not going to end for me lah. Okay, as if you want to survive in this industry, you have to keep on learning new things. Okay, so when you ask me like how do I transition from a normal traditional business to online, one of the things is I found out that in other countries, like if you look at in UK, in US, when I look at their services, right, I found that a lot of them are also transiting to online classes. So Malaysia was not very they are not very they don't accept that so often so easily, right? But I believe that that is actually the trend. I may be wrong, you see, I may be wrong, but to gamble on that, just to create a website, just to rank it up SEO as high as possible, and to eliminate as many competition as possible. So if I start early, I believe that we will chase up to the to this to the Western world of how they do things. So I learned from them as well. So that's the reason why I started the online classes and so on. So eventually, COVID hit us, and eventually because of the COVID hit us, I was well prepared for it lah.
But
So
I
I
think
think it
one.
saved me.
Okay, actually, many of them are very excited. I want to ask you a lot of questions. Even though Lucas say that when will be the Q&A section, so I think I will ask you the last question. Last question,
Okay.
I will be asking you. Then that afterwards, you all can actually type in the question and so on one by one. The question we will actually answer. So, okay, first thing, because I understand that pandemic last year started,
Hmm.
and instead, not many people, the business dropped, but instead your business went up, and you actually recently you told me that you actually closed a very big deal. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
a very big deal with one of the very famous education. If you don't mind, can you share, because later on,
Okay,
Lena
I
is.
won't say I'm not gonna say which company I closed lah, right? I'm not gonna say which company I closed because I think I don't want them to disclose amount, and pretty much there'll be
The
competitors
amount
around.
definitely cannot
Yeah,
disclose.
I won't say from which company lah, right? So yeah, partly because we are well. I mean like I'll say uh, we the things that we are doing over here, right? We are already prepared for it. You see, so whatever things that we for me my side we are doing along with my partners and so on, we are really like prepared for this. All right, so if the projects that we get we are able to handle it, definitely we'll do it lah, for sure. But not every single project we can do it also, because some projects are very big projects that even though they believe in us, but we also don't have the capacity to do it. Okay, when we say big projects means it will come up to probably 5 6 figure. All right, so some are really big projects, and it is not so easy to handle it. Okay, uh, yeah. So the thing is, when you are running a business, right? When you're running, always prepare ahead. Maybe like 10 years down the road, try to prepare 10 years. Even right now, when I'm doing online classes, I'm preparing something else for next probably 10 years from now. So I will project myself a long-term project and a short-term project. So even though maybe 10 years from now it doesn't materialize, because I have a lot of business that I created, small business that I created and run. Some like successful, that is not successful, but you will learn a lot of things along the way. And sometimes that in the journey itself, when you learn, you create a long term, right? Some will spin off a bit. When it spin off, right, you create something else. There'll be opportunities along the way. You see. So to me, it's like you must always plan ahead. Probably like short-term plan, and another one is long-term plan. Even though it doesn't really be successful, like that, but then you might get a spin off from there. So you might earn some from there as well. So I always believe in that lah. And also don't forget like to constantly keep on learning. Don't be comfortable. Oh, you're doing good now, so my sales is good, so I'll be relaxing. I don't want to go in further. If you think of relaxing and being comfortable just because you earn a lot of money right now, I can be very sure that when the times come, when the times is bad, right, then you'll be the one that left out because other people will jump in very fast. So you have to keep on moving forward so that your competitors cannot chase up to you. If they want to chase, it takes a long time for them to chase. So that's what I believe in actually.
But I learned from you really one thing because recently you just got a very, very big deal. And I think for you as honestly, your PR is really good and you are willing to give. You are a giver before you even to take. So, and actually you got this project, and this project, what I know that you can actually have the right to take fully, yeah, the amount. But Justin, honestly, he's very, very good that, of course, the teachers help him out and then so on. He told me one thing, I will share to the teachers also, that whoever who help him. I think this is some of the thing that people want to follow this leader. I think people want to follow this leader because they work together and work hard together with you, and you are very willing to share the piece of cake. Not only by grabbing, because many people when start to see a lot of money and so they start to grab the whole amount by not giving them. I know people also like that. And for you side, the first thing is that I want to give them. So this is the mindset that you have, Justine. Honestly, that's why for me, I'm very willing to share whatever like in business world and so on. Or even though you are very willing to share, because we know if you are sincere, then everybody will start to come back to be sincere. It's not like I talk to you, you talk to me, or we learn something, then we do by ourselves. So actually, honestly, now even though Justine is one of the project that we are working together, and we hope that everything will runs well. That's why it's like we, because when we know each other and so on, when you somebody are very willing to share and not everything come with intention, then you actually work long term and we will work together whatever is necessary when we have the opportunity. Actually currently will be one project, and Justin is my partner. So okay, we will start answering the question from the top. We will start answering the question from the top. Please
The
put
age
in
again,
whatever.
the question about how old am I?
Oh yeah, I will come to that because that one two people actually ask you how old are you. Hi
Okay.
Angel. Okay, all all good. Yeah, all good. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. Please like and share. Okay. May I know? You see, the first thing is that Stephen already asked. Good evening. May I know how old is Justin? Okay, so maybe you can actually answer that.
Okay, I'm actually I'm not young. I'm really 39 years old. Okay, so yeah, that's it lah. Anyway,
Yeah, not young already, but still
not
young.
young already.
Okay. So, even though Steven say that the website of your website is great. Let me see. Really amazed by Justin's determination to start his career by using his loan money. Actually, do you want to add anything, Justin?
Um, I believe a lot of the small entrepreneurs that they started with that as well. Maybe it's not by loan money, but some of them they borrow money from someone else, from their family members, and so on. I mean, I think it's pretty normal lah, because I mean, when you are in university or you graduated out from university, basically, to be honest with you, there's not much money that you can actually save. So, like, let me tell you, like, when I graduated, my income was 2.4K, not minusing my all this EPF yet, After minusing, it probably comes to around 2.1 lah. So if you minus it and minus, then probably you have nothing lah. You have to work 20 years to accumulate that kind of thing. So when I got my loan, I feel pretty blessed. I'm lucky lah, right? I'm lucky because that's the first time that PTPTN released the money. This is the first time PTPTN actually give you money, right? Before that, before my time, there's no such thing as PTPTN one. So I was lucky. I was the first batch, and the government is so good. They give us so much.
That moment, that generation, no, not this
That
generation. This
generation is
generation is
good, but now
still
is, to be honest, to get 40,000 from the government for TPTN is not easy.
true.
But my time, you can get up to 70, 86. I think I took 80,000, 86. I can't remember the lah, around there. So it includes my loan, my study loan, as well as my accommodation. It actually covers the whole package. That eventually, right now, it's not so much anymore lah, because a lot of people not paying it lah. But anyway, I paid all my loan. I finished paying all my loan. To be honest with you, I don't owe them any a single cent. Okay, So and they know I pay up because the government give a lot of rebate nowadays. You pay, then you don't have to pay for interest and so on. It's so good, right? So yeah, so I paid everything. So yeah, so I think it's like what you say, like it's quite normal. A lot of people do like what I'm doing. It's pretty
Yeah,
normal.
I think it's very true. You okay, many people tends to say, never mind, I will work first, I will save the money, then only I will start business. But honestly, how much is enough to start a business? So many people, especially many people tends to after say that work for people and want to save up. And honestly, even though you work for people, you save up, you do not have enough saving years
Yeah,
upon years. And after 10 years, 15 years, you say that you want to start a business. That time you are 24 years old, then 10 years only you save up. Say the example, you save up 100,000. So you are already 30 plus already. Like example, the younger you start, the faster, if you fall, you got is time to grow back. When you
yeah,
start your business at 30 plus 40 years, I'm not saying that older cannot start, nah, but the risk is higher. What happened if fail? So this is some of the things that I highly recommend, especially you all are very young that I can see all the photos. If you feel that you want to start a business, try to get a loan. But I do not recommend personal loan because personal loan, the interest is a little bit higher. So you need to find certain times when you start 1, 2 years or 6 months, you can actually ask for loan, or even though, like example, you can get angels loan and cradles loan. You can actually, or even though investors, but try not to, if possible, try not to get from cousins and so on. Because at the end of the day, if you can't pay back, then it will be a very big issue in the family. So try it's good for you. Maybe if you do not have the capital, invest, find the right partner. So you do the job and they are the investor. You got have options. And but of course the percentage need to be fair. So you really need to know how to divide, how to actually put in. Do not, example, they put in the money and give you 10% and you work like nobody business. You will not be happy and you will not work long term. So even though they say that your business is 100,000 investment, they give you 100,000, maybe you can take 51% or 49%. So this is the process. Don't take 10%. Okay, you give me the money. I will take only 10%. So I tell you, your 10%, you feel day by day by day, you will not be happy because you feel that you work so hard, you only take 10%. Okay.
mm,
So if you can try to get some loans, try to get some loan to run. Take always remember, I can't remember Warren Buffett, or take people's money to do business. Okay, takes people's money means to take the bank money to earn the money. Okay, to earn the money. Okay, how many teams member is Justin leading for now?
for my
Muhammad
website, right?
Zakri.
For my website, basically we have let me see. We have okay for my website we have three people, right? So three of them are pretty close to me. They are all friends as well, right? So that basically is one part of it. For my tutorial center at the present, we have around like seven teachers altogether, excluding seven teachers are they've been with me for a very long time lah, right? Excluding those other part timers as well lah. Excluding lah, I mean if you consider that other part timers, there will be more, lor, right?
Mm,
So yeah. So like my teacher itself, they are also very active in content creations and so on. So yeah, it's not just like I told you before, right? When I look at when I look at a tuition center, I don't just really look at it. Oh, it's a place for you to teach and so on. But we also develop contents. So there are a lot of things that we do over there, lah, right? We try to try to create some things out, and we try to sell, and so we try to sell content. We try to do a lot of things also. So yeah, that's how we do it, lah. So I don't have a very big team, but then most of the things is like I also rely on my friends or my business partner to do it also, because like what I believe, like, right, you cannot learn everything, but you still must know a bit of here and there, so that you won't get I would say won't get cheated off lah, because they are all my friends, all right. You must have a bit of knowledge lah, a bit of knowledge, even though you are not fully involved, right, but you must have a bit of knowledge, like how complex things are, how easy things are, so that um even with a small team, right, when you go for negotiation and so on, right, on behalf of your colleague and so on, right, on behalf of everyone, you are able to know how, you are able to come up with the pricing strategy and so on, and these are things are very important also, right?
Yeah, I think you need to know something definitely, or
Yeah,
not. People will just eat you up, and you do not know what happened. You need to know your business, because you
yeah,
need to
yeah,
be
no,
on top of your business. Because if
yeah,
anything, if you employ people and some like suddenly they leave 24 hours notice. I do have a friend that actually a finance, I think finance manager, 24 hours resignation. So if you do not know anything and so on, I really do not know the salary you can't pay out because you need to pay salary and so on. No? So as a business or as an entrepreneur, right, you need to be on top of your business. You do not need to be in the business, but you need to
yeah,
be on top of your business. And the eagle eye really need to see. Yeah.
yep.
Okay. Stephen asked, how long did Justin suffered before he managed to success?
I would say around 7 years.
Hmm.
7 years, I would say. I mean, like,
Yeah.
to be really fully, uh, to be where I am today, lah, right? I mean, like, even though my business is running, but I was working like, I tell you, it was not easy, lah. It's a lot of things to do. But to really slow down a bit, there was like, it takes around like 7 years to be really stabilized, that you can actually see a consistent income and so on. So you need quite some time. But I'm not saying that within that 7 years you're not earning anything. You're still earning. It's just that your income will be unstable. It may go up, it may go down. You can still draw a borderline there. You can still draw a borderline. It's just that for people to know you, for people to get to know your rapport and so on, how sincere you are, how you follow up with certain things, right? And how, uh, right. So you need some time for your clients to get to know you. So you need around 7 years to be really fight hard lah. So then after that, you can relax a bit. But to me, I don't really relax because I always find new things and. I think Mary would know.
Yeah, on and off will be new ideas and so on. Actually, even though yesterday I spoke to him, he got new ideas already. I said, okay, let's talk about it. Let's discuss. Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Muhammad Zakri, yes, Justin went back to work for a while to raise capital because that moment after graduate 1 year, he actually run his business because he need more capital. So he went back to work 4 years. And I think for that 4 years is not a easy years, right, Justin?
yeah, because like, one thing honestly I can tell you, like, because your mind, your passion is to start your own business, correct? So when you go to work, right, your mind is actually divided, right? You are half here and half there, right? And and to me, it's like there's a lot of sacrifices that you must make. So I sacrifice my weekends. I mean, like on Saturday and Sunday, to be honest with you, I'm still working. Then after my working hours as engineer at 7 o'clock, I continue to work up to 9:30 to 10 o'clock every single day. I think my rest day is probably like half a day. And yeah, so because I was too involved in everything already. So eventually, because I try to build myself out. You see, even I try to do many things. Okay, try to know publishers like Pelangi Publishers, Asbadi, and even Fajar Bhakti. I meet all of them before actually. So there's a lot of things that I fight and try to, some successful, some not, and so on. So there's a lot of things, a lot of sacrifices, and so it's very hard to balance when you're doing business and working. But eventually you will come to a point that you can no longer take it anymore because you want to grow, you see. So you must choose already. Right. So at that time you will have to choose. So it will come to a point that it will force you to choose. Or else your
Mm.
business will not grow. I can honestly tell you. If you don't leave, your business will never grow because you have limitation of time for your clients.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. No?
I think we really, if you decided to come out and do business, to be fair to your employer, come out and do business. You can,
Yeah.
and like example, if you do not have capital, you can actually talk to your employer. Can you invest? I would like to have this business. I do not know that whether you would like to be my partner. You can actually guide me certain things. So that your employer can be your mentor and also can be your partner. So this is
Mm.
some of the steps that you can actually do. But of course, you need to sacrifice yourself. Sacrifice, not the sacrifice, but is to really work hard during that moment, and your employer can see how hardworking you are, and whatever you want to do, you can actually achieve. Not do things halfway. Employer will not invest on you. Okay,
Mm.
employer and become your partner. I'm saying. Okay. May I know how old is Justin again? Okay, Lucas asked. Lucas asked. So it's close to 4 decades. I will answer directly lah. Okay. So close to 4 decades. Okay. Lina asks, can I have some question for both of us? Okay. If individual A is working on his full time and part time, individual A salary for part time is somehow higher than full time. I think Justin already answered you, Lina.
Yeah,
Just
if your part-time income, for example, let's put it simple lah. Let's say you are earning, let's say like 2,000 for your part-time income, and let's say your working salary is you're earning also maybe 1,500, right? If you can get a consistent income for a couple of months, right? I think you can start to transition to move to into I mean a full time your own business lah, because it's quite stable. All right. So because you have done it a couple of times, so if you duplicate that same strategy that you have, you must have a strategy. It's not by luck lah, right? If you luck means tak boleh lah, cannot lah. With a strategy that you use, right? Then if you duplicate that strategy and you improve on the strategy, if you put more time, you will definitely scale up. You will scale up for sure, right? But if you do not dare to take the risk, then normally it's very hard to scale, because you will reach a time your business, you will never tap a different clientele, you see, because you're always limited to your job, right? So I think when you reach, let's say if your part-time income is more or equal, not say more, like equal to your current salary, yeah, you can consider leaving already. If it's a consistent, you can consider leaving, because you are quite safe already. You don't have to worry so much.
yeah, I think many business people, entrepreneurs, and so on, right? Why they actually push themselves to the maximum is because they do not have enough. They are struggling paying their house, their car, their loans. They do not have a choice. Even though,
Mm.
like example, some of them do not dare to see anybody, but they do not have a choice. They are forced to see people, even though they are introvert. Sometimes you need to be uncomfortable. You need to be no comfortable to be uncomfortable. So I think this is one of the extreme entrepreneur. Why can they push so hard? Is because they are very painful in cash. So they need to push to the maximum. So you just imagine some of them, you really see the success story. Their pain point is extreme. Their wallet left 5 ringgit. They do not know where to spend, what to do. They can't even afford to what. Where's the pain point to push you to the maximum? So that's why sometimes why people can actually be so extreme that so successful or just a normal success, because the very successful because they got so much of pain. They can't take it, they push to the extreme. So I'm not asking you all to go to the very very painful to be successful, but always remember, if today, okay, if what happened is that you drop to the maximum, and my hubby every time tell me, what's the word already, just imagine every day you are a beggar. How can you push yourself to the maximum? Okay, every time imagine that your wallet got 5 ringgit. I'm not got asking you the law of attraction 5 ringgit in your wallet, but what will you do next? How far you can actually push yourself? Okay, really amazed. Okay, okay, this is not a question. So yes, John Lim, cash flow is very important, as mentioned.
Yeah,
Many
it's very, very
very
important.
very important. So you
I
can
would say
actually
more important than your saving. To be honest with you, it's
yes,
more important than your saving.
fully agree.
Saving,
Uh,
yeah, because saving can finish one. But cash flow, if you have a consistent cash flow, you don't have to worry, because at the end of the month, I have this cash flow. Business is running, right? So you don't have to worry so much.
Yeah, especially big companies. What every time when we talk to big player in the MSC companies, the CEOs and so on, the first thing they ask, how's your cash flow? The first thing, no. So the first thing, how's my cash flow? My guru asked me, how's my cash flow? This one asked me. Honestly, during this pandemic, I really learned cash flow. So honestly, you are very, all of you are very young. Please go and learn cash flow. Cash flow. Cash is movable in your bank, in whatever cash. Now, say the example. How can, if you are running a business, how long you can last?
Yeah.
That you have the cash right now. Can you last for 1 month, 2 months, 5 months until next year? How long you can last? Okay. Okay. Cash flow. Okay. Next, from my point of view, passive income is very important. Yes. If you want to retire, you want to go for cruise and so on, then it's good for you to have passive income. Okay. Passive income. Okay. Lina asked, so just now, I think Justin just now mentioned that he will not disclose because to be fair for that company. But I can let you know it's a very big company that very well known education. Okay. What is your advice to the teenagers who just graduate? Good question.
If you are, let's say for example, if you are a teenager and you have the passion to to venture into your own business, right? I would say you should start it as soon as possible. When we say business, right, it doesn't mean you need to have like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. That's what a lot of people believe. Oh, start a business means I must start off with big. It is not necessary. Okay, there's a lot of business that is within your grasp. You can do it. Okay, either through partnering or through services. You can still do it. Okay, um, so if you start early, even you fail, right, you will learn a lot of things along the way, and also you can climb up fast. As you grow older, it's very hard because as you grow older, you have a lot of commitment to your family, to your kids, to your house, your wife, to whoever. You have more fear lah to fall. So that's why I always believe that if you wanna do anything like business, start up business, do it as early as possible, right? With calculated risk, so that if you fall, you can climb up easily. As you grow older, you are more afraid lah. So yeah, that's what I always tell my
Get a
friends and
mentor. Get a
yeah.
mentor. So at least you will not you can guide their wisdom. They really can share to you. Uh, do Justin, John Lim is actually asking you, do you still have your engineering knowledge until now?
uh, I still have, but not much. A tiny bit lah. Okay, tiny bit of knowledge lah. Because I'm a as you know, right, I'm a web developer. I program my own software as well. So like if as you know, right, those software like Python and so on, right, yeah, they are still used in engineering firms and so on. So I think I can do it if I go back to engineering line, but I do not want to go. I'm just telling you lah. But sometimes all this knowledge that you have for me is I'm always constantly learning, you see. So um, the things that I learned involving very technical things like software programs and so on. So source code, I mean all these programs and so on. So kind of like not much lah, but it's still I still have some knowledge lah. But I
Okay.
mean I'm not going back lah. That's for sure lah.
Now run a business, how to go back? When
Cannot
will
lah,
be the
no way.
question? Okay, this one, Lucas. So, Lucas, I will be waiting for your question. Justin is still learning from different sources. Yes, Justin, you will honestly, as an educator or whoever want to improve, right? They will learn until the
Bye.
last day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really regret when younger age that moment I do not read too many books. So that's why if you because the eyesight when you start to grow older, right, your eyesight is much more difficult to actually read the books and so on. Please kindly read as many books as possible in one. We all will say, or even though previously for me wise, even though one paragraph I would just want to fall asleep because every time as an educator we read books, but it's actually school books. So then motivation books, entrepreneur books, successful business books, and so on, right? If you like business, please read. Because this one, you are getting information from other people mind, and you are tapping on their mind and the power of it. Okay. So try to start. My book, the first book that I really go in depth is the power of focus to build a 21-day habit. That one really changed my life. Find a book that can change your life. Don't need to be very thick book. Don't need to start with very thick book. Start with very thin, then slowly grow it. So Lina, although he's having his own team and being successful for now, okay. Uh, what is the percentage different from being working as an engineer and working as and founder of Nova Web Design? Percentage difference, what it means.
I think the question means that what is the difference between like working for someone else and working for yourself? Okay. Um, if you're working for yourself, you can determine the prices and everything. You can determine how much you want to make. This is good, right? Okay. But if you work for someone else, then you can't. If you work for yourself, you can. Okay. And in terms of flexibility, you have more flexibility. But if you're asking me, like, do you have more rest if you work as for yourself compared to when you're working for someone else? Not really true lah. If you work for yourself, normally you have a lot of things, more things to do because you take in a lot of projects and so on. So you have to be even more hardworking. It's not like you are resting lah. Okay, right? It's not like five. I mean, like it's not like 8 to 6 job. Then after that you can have time. To rest and so on. But if you're working for yourself, you have to be very hardworking. It means like even though I'm working from home, right? I start my working every day. I start at 10 o'clock to be honest with you. But I work from 10 o'clock. Then 10 o'clock I finish working probably around 10 o'clock also. It's around 12 hours of working. Yeah, so yeah, I mean in between there'll be breaks and there'll be some small breaks and makan time lah, okay, right? There'll be that. Then after 10 o'clock, normally on Thursday I'll be off reach because I'm taking extra classes, right? Because you have to continue to learn. Yeah, that's how life would be lah, right? So yeah, I mean like it is if you work for someone else, right, then when you are free, then you are really free, like you have duty and so on, right? But when you work for yourself, probably my only time to really rest would be on year end, where I really like I spend like okay, I tell myself December, the last 2 weeks of December, I really want to have a break. Then I'll just forget about everything, just go for a good quality break lah. That's all lah. Maybe go for vacation. Now cannot go out, right? So family time, right?
Yeah. So Muhammad Zakri say I see short term. He actually learned short term and long term plan. Then learn something new. Okay. Stephen Lim agree that being sincere, grateful is great. Yeah, actually, from a supplier and a customer, then it became friend. It's because of the sincerity of each other. I think that one is really very important. And honestly, when you are running a business, especially how you treat your supplier, honestly, sometimes everybody think that customer, yes, customer is important, but supplier also very important, especially this pandemic time. In this pandemic time, when honestly, when previously when I started renovating my international school and invested in Melma, I just imagine which supplier will allow you to owe for 2 years. 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years plus. Because I have that mindset that when we started 10 over years ago, okay, 10 over years ago, that I know that maybe one day we need help from the supplier. So before, even though sometimes he complete my reno, I really pay him because I trust him. So every time the renovation, we will pay him before, or sometimes he will just no need to ask me. I say that, hey, when you give me invoice, I want to pay you right now. But honestly, we really need his help. During the Myanmar time and the international school time when we set up, we did the renovation and so on. And he did not even know chase. Honestly, he did not even know chase for 2 years, 2 years plus. Which supplier will do that? So build relationship with supplier. That one is really very, very important. Not only customer, but supplier. Okay, but his rental is a little bit higher. But even though, like example, anytime you can just call. Okay, always remember one thing. Many suppliers, many people that what I see, they negotiate the price from this amount to that amount and so on. I don't believe in that now. They have the value. They have their value. That's why normally I will tell them, hey, got any discount? Then they give lor. They don't give, they don't give lor. So it's just a lady normal lah, got discount lah. It's a normal thing. So please, They have a value. If you press their price, they cannot make profit and so on. And even though they do a perfect job, by 2 years or 1 year time, you don't see them already because they are not making profit. Let them to make profit, to help you, to not to worry. So this is what I believe. Yeah. So
True,
okay,
true,
what
true.
okay, who asked you? May Ki Wong. Miss Wong asked you what motivate you day to day.
Day to day, if you ask me now, okay, right now probably my family members, oh, my wife and my kids. Basically, I need to provide, ma. So I think they are the main source of motivation, lah. Right. So I mean, that's what I mean. Family members should be the one that always encourage you, lah. The first thing to me, I always believe in that. So
Yeah.
as long as your family members is keep on motivating you, then like makes your life easy, right? So I think you will go pretty far. If let's say one of them is they don't agree on what you're doing, then they don't trust you. Like if you tell them, "Oh, I want to invest in this new business," and they say no, they say it's not, and then it's very hard because you're not in the same channel already, right? But then if you are, for example, whatever that you do, then they trust you, right? Then then they kind of assist you. Even like my wife, she will kind of assist me sometimes also when I really need her help. Then yeah, it makes your life so much easier. So to me, it's the family members that always be the one that motivates me, not anyone else. Yeah.
So Lina is very young. She said that last time can actually get 70, 80K loan. Actually is a PTPTN loan. So yeah,
Yes.
actually just started, right? That moment that year.
I was the first year, so I was lucky.
Yeah. So it's a different because everybody will definitely know, and some of them don't pay up and so on. Of course, they will cut the loan from 70. I think some of them can get only 20 or 30K.
Yeah,
So
now it's very
so
low.
yeah. So and last time also include accommodation and also the food. Now it's actually a little bit different. Okay,
Yep.
Lina is very young. That's why you say that. Okay. Yeah, actually, it's very true. Be comfortable being in the uncomfortable zone. Yeah, this is one. And this is one, work like you are broke. So then you will put to the maximum. And now, okay, so we finish our question. So
Yep.
John Lim say that now only I understand cash flow is more important. Okay, audience out there, if possible, is it possible for I understand that you all are quite young. Yeah, all are quite young. And whoever that actually we call it is a real life. We did not cover up, we did not cover up and so on. It's a real life that the success, the struggle, the real world. Okay, so I would like to ask all of you, are you all running your business? If you are running your business, can you put an E? E, yeah? E means entrepreneur. If you are studying, can you put a S? If you are working, can you put a W? So please put in the comment. I would really like to know that the audience here, if most majority are students, so we will put in the topic of more on students. If you are entrepreneur, we will put more entrepreneur. Okay, we do have working, yeah, working. So like example, if working entrepreneur, please kindly put if you feel that okay, I'm working currently but in future I want to do business and so on, please put it in because we would like to know the topic that you are interested. Then we will find the people that actually will come in and help out to share what do you really want to know. Even though if you want any topic that you want to know, please put it in. We will actually find the people whose experience. If you say that you want to get loan, example, okay, so please kindly put it in. If you say that in 2 years time I want to become an entrepreneur, please let us know also, so we will guide you step by step. Yeah, Steven, work and entrepreneur. Lina is a student. Yeah, very young Lina. It's a good start. You are actually learning, and honestly, uh, it's a blessing that Lina you are here, that you can actually learn from many people that the progress of from graduate to working to entrepreneur. get the experience, ask as many questions as possible, so you will not go to that journey that to learn through the journey that we went through. So you will cut a lot of time that to be successful. Okay.
Yeah.
And any of you all would like to hear, like example, topic of anxiety, depression, that especially this moment. So please put in the topic that you would like to know. John Lim, Steven, Lucas, Lina, any topic that you want to know, you please put it in. Then we will actually we will try to bring in that person to actually talk about the topic. So Justin, thank
Yeah.
you very much. Honestly, really good sharing. So, if you want to contact Justin, you can actually go to the website. Let me see the website. Honestly, yeah, Justin is a very, very nice person. If you want to know anything and so on, please talk to him. He's very, very willing to share. He's very willing to share. If he's not willing, and then you come back to me, but he's very willing to share. So please go to his website. If you can leave message right in your website.
Yeah, anyway, I gave them the email also, right? You can share with them the email. I think
Oh, the
I
email.
give that my personal email. Let's say, for example, like if you guys need, like, for example, like any kind of a help, like example, maybe you come across some problems that you feel that you're not sure whether is that the right way to do it, then you can always message me lah. Right? Then if you feel that maybe you need some ideas, for example, right? I mean, I always believe that information is always meant to be shared. You see, so uh, that's how things works, lah. We should always share out. Then you yourself also will put extra effort to check it out more and so on. So yeah, so I think that is the first step to learn, lah, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
you,
Stephen
you
would like to know, interested to know more about entrepreneur. So I actually will try to get some of my business friend to come in about their entrepreneur journey. So we can actually find more people about the entrepreneur journey and so on. And I highly recommend, if you all are still young, please find a mentor to communicate with them, even though certain things that you feel that is a simple question, but sometimes from another person point of view is very, very different. So we will find more entrepreneur to actually come in to share the knowledge to you all. And later on in future, actually Justin gave me an idea. They said that, hey, please don't stop this interview and so on. Justin actually asked, tell me, he, even though that is the thing, he actually gave the idea that why not we mentor and mentor and help out each other, and it's actually free. So this is some of things that we are trying to figure out, how can we do and what can we do. So we really do not know, but we tune in, then we will update you on the mentorship. Because like example, next week we will be talking not about business. Next week we'll not be talking about business. Next week I will be calling um one of my friend to come in to talk about special needs children. If you got any friends that got children, like example, hyperactive, speech delay, or example, ADHD, autism, you can actually invite them, because many of the parents these days, because out of one out of 58 children, one kid is actually special needs, autism, or maybe speech delay, or even though exposure and so on. Please kindly invite your friends or families that you feel that hey, this child got certain things. So next week we'll be talking about that topic, and I really hope that you all can actually share out to the your friends, your family, share out as much as possible, because for them, time is not money. For them, time is very, very precious. Every single second count, because to help them out, it will be from range from 3 to 10 years old. Then it's easier for us to make them to improve, to progress to normal stream. Because many of the special needs, many parents say that when 20 years old, I regret by not starting earlier example intervention program. Please kindly share. Next week at 9 p.m. we will be talking about autism, not business, but autism, special needs children, and what's the symptom, how can we diagnose, what's the next step. Please kindly share as many people as possible for this topic, and we really hope that we can help as many people. But the following week we will go back to entrepreneur. Okay, because as an entrepreneur, do not every time think about business, but to help as many as possible. When you help people, automatically you whatever that many people think that I want to do business because of money. Yes, but find the problem, money will automatically come to you. Okay, take care. Thank you, Justin, once again. Stay safe, everybody. Okay, Copy with Mary, Teacher Mary channel. Stay
Okay,
safe.
bye guys.
Take care. Bye bye. Justin, don't go first.
You go first.
Yeah, normal.